Hey guys, it's your boy Asher. And we are doing chapter 2 of How to Live with Yourself, a guide by our lovely Passionate About Ponies. Great writer, guys. I would say go subscribe, but give support, guys. I don't know if Passionate About Ponies has a YouTube channel. Who knows? And yeah. Chapter 2, Meeting Yourself. I'm trying to think of what else I need to say before I start. Guys, my ADHD is going cray-cray today, so... Ugh. Tommy stared in disbelief. He couldn't actually be looking at himself, right? It had to be someone who just looked a lot like him, except the more he looked, the more he recognized. Almost everything about this person matched himself exactly. Tommy circled the doppelganger, and the only differences he could see were a different haircut, different clothes, and... Wait, the other Tommy didn't have wings. Seeing himself without wings was weird, like seeing himself without one of his arms or legs. Tommy knelt next to his unconscious twin. Should he wake him? What was he saying? Of course he was going to wake him. Tommy grabbed other Tommy's shoulders and shook him roughly. Hey bitch, get up, get the fuck up. Other Tommy woke in an instant in a state of alarm, immediately shoving him away. Get off me, what the fuck are you doing? What's going on? He winced and grabbed one of his shoulders. Ow, what did you do to me? Why do I hurt all over? Who are you? Questions, guys. Tommy noticed that other Tommy also had the same voice as him. I didn't do shit to you, he defended. Well, I tripped over you because you were napping on the floor, he amended. But it probably didn't hurt you since you didn't wake up. Other Tommy frowned. Who are you? He repeated. I'm Tommy Kraft, Prince of the Arctic Empire, Tommy answered. I could ask the same thing about you since you look just like me. Other Tommy looked genuinely confused. I what? The Empire? What do you mean I look like you? Is this a prank? It was Tommy's turn to frown. Isn't it obvious what I mean? We're practically identical, don't you see? See it? Other Tommy snorted. I've never seen anything at all. Ever. I'm blind, dick. I can't see you, and I can't see where I am, which is freaking me out a bit, because I have no idea what's going on, so some explanation should be nice. Tommy was surprised for a moment at this revelation, then remembered that he wanted answers. Tell me who you are first, and then I'll tell you what I know. Other Tommy scowled and answered him all the same. I'm Tommy Watson. Now explain. Tommy answered the best he could. So I don't actually know why I'm here or where here even is. I just woke up here the same as you. I think this amulet thing I picked up teleported me. I can't figure out how to make it bring me back. Now it's your turn to answer my questions. Why do you look like an exact copy of me? Other Tommy rolled his eyes. Again, I have no idea what you look like. So tell me, what do you mean by exact copy? I mean, you're completely identical to me in nearly every way, Tommy answered. The only differences I can see is that you have a different haircut and you don't have wings. Other Tommy looked interested. You have wings? Tommy nodded. Yeah, I'm a full-blooded avian, like the rest of my family. I have no idea what an avian is, other Tommy admitted, but my dad's powers give him wings too. He mentioned as if to reach out his hand and then seemed to realize something. My hands are still covered in soap. Ugh, my hands are still covered in soap. He started wiping his hands off on his pants. Tommy was bewildered. Why are your hands covered in soap? Other Tommy held up one of his wrists, on which was a strange metal wristband. I was trying to get this thing off. All I know about it is it's something my dad was working on. I'm guessing it's at fault for me being here, because the last thing I remember is trying to take it off. Tommy looked at it curiously. Just how stuck is it? The other Tommy snorted. It shrunk to fit my wrist when I put it on, so pretty damn stuck. Can I take a look? Tommy asked. Other Tommy shrugged. I guess so. Not like you could make it any worse. Never say that. He held out his arm and let Tommy take a hold of it. Tommy looked the thing over. There was no obvious release mechanism, but it had many buttons, all of which were unlabeled. He gave it another couple tugs to see if it would budge. The other Tommy winced. Sorry, Tommy apologized, letting go. Is it really that tight? It's not cutting off my circulation or anything, the other Tommy answered as he pulled his arm back. It's a bit uncomfortable, and the area is tender from repeatedly pulling at it. I wasn't exactly supposed to be touching it, so I was a bit frantic to get the thing off before I got found out. Even after looking at it, I have no more idea of how to get it off than you do, Tommy admitted. I guess we could get it off by shattering your hand, but I don't think that's something you would want to experience. Other Tommy grimaced and shook his head. Yeah, I'm good. I'm going to try pressing all the buttons on it. Let me know if it does anything. Sure, Tommy watched other Tommy fiddle with the wristband for a while with no results. I think you managed to break it, he finally stated. It probably would have done something by now if it was going to. Other Tommy sighed and gave up. Great, just great. I'm stuck with it then. He pouted for a moment before changing the subject. Going back to what you said earlier, do you really think we look identical? I'll admit we sound very similar. I don't think it, I know it, Tommy answered. I'm not exaggerating whenever I say that, ignoring the wings, we're practically twins. Here, see for yourself. He grabbed one of other Tommy's hands, pressing it to his face. Other Tommy looked unhappy. Don't grab me like that without asking. It's rude. Despite this, other Tommy was curious enough to move his hand across Tommy's face. After a moment, he frowned and brought his other hand to his own face, as if to compare. That's weird, he finally concluded as he retracted his hand. You said everything's the same? Just about, yeah, Tommy said. I think you're missing all my scars, though. I have a long one in my arm from when I fell out of a tree as a kid. Huh. And you really have wings? Other Tommy wondered. Can I? He held out one of his hands again. I guess, Tommy answered, turning his back facing the other Tommy as he moved backwards so his hand touched one of his wings. But if you pull out any feathers, I'll punch you. Other Tommy didn't respond to the threat, instead running his fingers through the feathers, surprisingly gentle before moving his hand up the wing until he found where it attached to Tommy's back. Can you move them? He inquired. Tommy flicked his wings under the other Tommy's hand. Of course I can. What's the point of having wings if you can't use them? Other Tommy looked intrigued. At first I thought you might have shapeshifter powers and were messing with me, but the wings rule is out. Even the best shapeshifters have their limits. He pulled his hand away. So you're exactly like me, but with wings. I was adopted, so are you my long-lost twin brother or something? Tommy turned back around and frowned in thought. I don't think so. My parents would have mentioned you. And you'd be a full avian like me, unless you lost your wings somehow. Do you have any weird scars on your back? Not unless nobody ever told me about them, other Tommy answered. You can take a look if you want. He turned around and lifted the back of his shirt. Tommy looked, but only saw unblemished skin. Nope, nothing. Other Tommy turned back around and fixed his shirt. They knew we are twins, and our parents gave me up because I don't have wings or because I'm blind. Tommy quickly refuted this idea. You wouldn't say that if you knew my dad. If you were his kid, he would have fought tooth and nail if anyone tried to take you away, no matter how different you were. Other Tommy smiled at this. Sounds like my dad. My adoptive dad, I mean. I have no idea who my biological parents are. My brothers are adopted too, Techno and Wilbur. Tommy gaped at this revelation. I'm sorry, what? Other Tommy frowned. Adopted multiple children. Isn't that uncommon? No, it's not that. Tommy clarified. It's that It's just that I have biological brothers with the same names. What? Really? Other Tommy blinked in surprise. What's your dad's name? His name's Phil, Tommy answered. That's my dad's name too. Said Other Tommy, stunned. This is uncanny. I can't. Okay. My ADHD is kicking in hard, guys. This is uncanny, Tommy breathed. We're nearly identical. We have the same voices. We have the dads and brothers with the same names, and we even have the same first name. Other Tommy appeared deep in thought. I've heard about this in the movies. Maybe we're the same person from different universes. What's the movie? Tommy asked. Other Tommy laughed. Definitely from different universes, then. I'll tell you what a movie is later. What I'm saying is that some people believe there are many different worlds that all exist next to each other, and they might have different versions of the same person. I think we're just different versions of each other. Tommy had to pause for a minute to process this. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. If that's the answer, I've read stories about other worlds existing, but I never really put much thought into it. If that's what's happening here, does that mean what? And what does that mean? Then what does that mean for where we are? Other Tommy frowned and thought, we could be anywhere, your universe, my universe, or maybe somewhere else entirely. Can you describe where we are? Tommy stood up and looked around again. It's a huge room with many different organized containers organized into groups. I guess I'd describe it as a warehouse. I've never seen one this big, though. Do you see an exit anywhere? Other Tommy asked. Tommy shook his head, then remembered that Other Tommy couldn't see him. Not yet. I was looking for one when I ran over you. If you're going to keep looking, do you mind if I come with you? Other Tommy asked. I don't want to be alone in an unknown place. Tommy rolled his eyes. Duh. I'm not that much of an asshole that I would just leave you here. We're on the same boat, which means we're on the same team. Guys, ugh. Other Tommy smiled. Team Tommy, we should have nicknames. You can call me Tom. Tommy snorted at a laugh. That's a boring nickname. I want to go by something cool, he thought for a minute. Then grinned. Theseus, you can call me Theseus. Okay. Okay. Gotta get my bearings, guys. Okay. Theseus, you can call me Theseus. Tom tilted his head inquisitively. The Greek hero? Theseus was surprised. Yeah, that story exists in your world too? It was one of the first ones my Technoblade ever read to me. I have a soft spot for it. Tom smiled softly. My Techno likes those stories too. Help me up. Theseus grabbed Tom's hand and helped him stand. Ow, Tom complained. Ow, ow, ow. Everything fucking hurts. Yeah, that happened to me too, Theseus sympathized. It fades with time. It fucking better, Tom grumbled. Do you see a stick or a pole or something? I'd be more comfortable if I had a temporary replacement for my cane. Theseus looked around. There's not much here outside of the containers. If you want, I could crack some open and see what's inside. Tom shook his head. Don't bother. He rubbed at his wristband. I think I've learned my lesson when it comes to poking my nose into things. Just keep an eye out for me as we go, I guess. You want to hold my hand? Theseus offered. Tom made a face. I've always felt like I lost it, sorry. Got a notification. I always felt like I'm 5 whenever when I have someone else leading me around, but I don't have many other options without my cane, so sure. Theseus took Tom's hand in his. Don't worry, I won't let you walk into anything, even if it would be very funny. Thanks, that gives me so much confidence, Tom replied sarcastically, though he was also smiling, so Theseus counted it as a win. The two set off, Theseus looking for an exit and watching where he led Tom. Tom didn't have much to do besides let Theseus guide him, so he continued the conversation. Earlier you said the reason why you have wings is that you're an avian. What does that mean? Theseus shrugged. It's just what I am. Like how you're a human. He paused. Are you a human? I don't mean to assume. Tom looked interested. Yeah, I'm a human. You don't think I count as one? Theseus shrugged again. Technically, yeah, humans and avians. You don't think you count as one? Okay. Theseus shrugged again. Technically, yeah, humans and avians are different species. Supposedly, my family is the last of the full-blooded avians. All other avians are known as partial human ancestry. Do you lay eggs? Tom asked. Theseus laughed. Gods, no. That would be fucking weird. He changed the subject. If you don't have any avians in your world, do you have any other kinds of people besides humans? Simons? Hybrids? Tom shook his head. Nope. Everyone's human, even those with powers. That's the third time you've mentioned powers, Theseus pointed out. What does that mean? Where I come from, some people have special abilities, Tom explained. My whole family has powers. My dad can make a pair of working wings appear and disappear on his back, as well as turn his hand into bird claws. He also has increased agility and dexterity, but that's not nearly as flashy. Techno can transform into a part boar form that's super strong, and Wilbur can walk through walls and do a bunch of cool shit with his voice. So, it's magic? Theseus tried to relate to what he was hearing to what he knew. Tom grinned. You have magic in your world? That's fucking cool, but nah, it's not magic. Though I suppose no one fully understands how powers work, so you never know. Do you have any powers? Theseus asked. Nope, Tom answered. I'm normal as dirt. Most people are, depending on where you live. Powered people are only about 5 to 10% of the population. Most powers are pretty inconspicuous. Inconspicuous. Too. I knew a person whose only power was to change the color of his fingernails on command. But tell me about magic. How does it work? He looked eager. Theseus snorted. If I knew all the secrets of magic, I'd get myself home easily. There's still a lot we don't know about it. Even after centuries of study, honestly, I mostly take it for granted with it being everywhere and all. Not everyone can cast spells, but almost everyone uses magic or magic enhanced items. Can you cast spells, Tom asked? Nah, Theseus answered. My dad can, though. Hopefully he'll be able to track me down with it. I wish I could do that, Tom admitted. I'm stuck being a civilian in a family of superheroes. If I could do magic, I could finally help them out instead of listening to their battles live on the news. What's a superhero? Theseus asked. Well, Tom began, when someone has a particularly useful power, sometimes they take a job helping people. That's what my family does. They spend their days saving people and stopping bad guys. Isn't that dangerous? Theseus inquired. Tom nodded. It can be, and that's why I want to be able to help them instead of having no choice but to be a bystander. It can be hard when everyone in my family can do all this cool shit that I can't, and it clearly doesn't help that they still treat me as a baby, as the baby of the family. This little excursion won't help matters at all either. After my dad finds me, I'm going to be grounded until my birthday. How old are you? Theseus asked. 16, Tom answered. My birthday's in 6 months, on April 9th. Theseus frowned. That's my birthday too, but April 9th is 2 months away. Not 6, it's February. What? Tom looked confused. It's October, dude. No, it's definitely February, Theseus stated. There was a snowstorm happening when I left. Weird, Tom mused. Maybe different worlds aren't necessarily synchronized calendar-wise. Sorry, guys. I had to go help my grandpa with something. That's why I hate this, dude. Ugh. Okay. Something over here. Okay. What? Tom looked confused. It's October, dude. No, it's definitely February. Oh, we already read that. Weird, Tom mused. Maybe different worlds aren't necessarily synced calendar-wise. Theseus grinned. Cool, that means I'm 4 months older than you. Oh, fuck off, he complained. Theseus took a moment to laugh before asking his next question. I'm curious, how do you navigate in the world normally, being blind and all? It's not nearly as hard as you think. That's a long paragraph. Tom answered. I have some slight light perception in my left eye, so I know if it's day or night, and I can find my way to a lamp in an otherwise dark room. Getting around my house is mindless. I have the layout memorized. And everyone knows better than to leave stuff lying around. If I want to walk around the neighborhood, I've lived there long enough that it's pretty easy. He mimed using a white cane with his free hand. I swept my cane back and forth in front of me to look out for tripping hazards and to make sure I don't miss the curb. I don't count my steps or anything, but as I said, I've lived there since I was 7, so I know how to navigate those streets. I also often use sound and spells to orient myself. Ugh. For example, I can smell the bakery long before I get there. Or there's this one house where the dog always barks at me. The traffic may always sound different in different areas. If I'm in an unfamiliar place, I can usually do pretty well with either clear instructions or someone to follow in my cane. I can tell my family's footsteps from a crowd, so it's not hard to follow them. That's really impressive, Theseus said genuinely. Tom smiled. Thanks, now it's my turn to ask a question. Are you really a prince? Yep, Theseus confirmed. My dad's the king of the Arctic Empire. Techno's the crown prince, though, being older than Will by 2 minutes. You brothers are twins and Techno's older? Tom questioned. Yours aren't? Theseus questioned back. Nope. Tom confirmed. The 3 of us are all from different parents. My Wilbur is also 2 years older than my Techno. He thought of something. You don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but is your mom still around? You haven't mentioned her yet. Oh, my mom's fine, Theseus assured. I just hadn't had a reason to bring her up yet. Her name's Kristen. What about yours? Tom shook his head. Dad's never been married. He adopted and raised us on his own. Maybe if a version of my mom exists in your world, you can find her and get her, and you get back and sit up. You can find her when you get back and set her up with your dad, Theseus suggested. He spotted a set of doors. I think there's an exit over there. Let's go check it out. Thank fuck, Tom said as they walked over to it. Hopefully we can ask someone where we are. if we're still in my universe, I'm sure my dad will let you stay with us and help you get home. Same for my parents, Theseus agreed, letting go of Tom's hand to get the door open. It took him a minute to figure it out, but finally placed his hand into a raised surface next to the door, and it slid open. On the other side was a creature Theseus had never seen before. The best way he could describe it would be to call it a humanoid lizard. In turn, saw them and screamed as if they were murdering it. I find this part so funny, guys. Okay, trust it's going to be even more hilarious next time. Okay. Turned, saw them, and screamed as if they were murdering it. Theseus slammed his hand on the surface and used the door he had used to open the door, and it slid shut again. He spun around to face Tom. So, slight problem. I don't think we're in either of our universes. Good chapter, guys. Okay. Passion about ponies. You're so good writer. Oh. But I swear, I do not want to hear anything saying I sound like a girl. I will stop doing this if I hear one comment about that, guys. Not really. I enjoy this too much, but you know. Colds are the worst, guys. Ugh. Having a cold is literally the worst. But anyway, my schedule for posting, yeah. So yeah. I can only really post whenever there's no yelling in my house. I thought about that whenever but yeah. If there's no yelling in my house, then I can film or whatever this is. I had to go early in here because of that. I really wasn't expecting to be disturbed. So sorry about the interruption. But yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else I should say before this, but well, have a nice day, Ashes. See ya tomorrow, maybe. Goodbye. Asher out.